Welcome to 2024. This is Public Accounts Committee, and the year has begun. And as the year begun, the committee is set to have activities, to commence the activities as expected for 2024. The Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Bamidele Salam, is on the seat, together with other members, and in the House are the people that are expected to be before the committee to find out things on the money given to them during COVID-19 and other interventions that have been given to them. We have a long day for the first sitting of 2024, and let's join the committee and hear what is expected from the committee. I'm Bemiga Olamiko. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page.
Sit down, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, distinguished members. Thank you for having us here this morning. My name is Daju Kechelo, MNI, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Health, and with me are my directors. They will introduce themselves.
Okay, yeah, they can introduce themselves too. Just put off your own mic and then they can use theirs. Sit down, please. Everyone should speak sitting down.
Good morning, Chairman, distinguished members. I am Dr. Jimo Olawale Salaudi, MNI. I'm Director of Hospital Services, Federal Ministry of Health. Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, distinguished members. My name is Mohammed Abdullahi, Director of Procurement.
Honorable Chairman, sir, honorable members, my name is Johuma Isaac, Director of Finance and Accounting, Federal Ministry of Health.
Why is the Director of Finance, the most important director, hiding behind the camera? Our cameramen are the one hiding him. Thank you very much. You're most welcome to this hearing. The Federal Ministry of Health is a very major department of government when it comes to the issue of the management of the various funds appropriated by the National Assembly for the purpose of combating the COVID-19 pandemic that broke out in 2019, but effectively 2020 and 2021. Let me just quickly say this again as we resume this hearing. I read in some of our media that House of Reps commences. It's actually not a commencement. This is a hearing that has happened for at least over 2 months. And so we're just resuming the hearing on the COVID-19 expenditure. And the whole purpose of the hearing, as captured by the motion which the House passed, is to ensure that we are transparent and accountable in the expenditure of the various sums of money running into over 600 billion naira that was released by the federal government of Nigeria to combat the COVID-19 pandemic and the resultant effect of the pandemic on our public works. That was why some of the funds were given to various agencies and ministries that are not health related as an intervention to refresh the economy after the various lockdowns that COVID caused in the country. And I want to assure everyone appearing before this committee once again that we are going to be very, very fair, we are going to be very firm, and we are going to be very, very lawful in all that we do, because that is the hallmark of the 10th Assembly of the House of Representatives. So I want to urge all ministries, departments, and agencies that will be appearing before us once again to please note that we will highly appreciate their cooperation in terms of giving us facts and figures without diluting them. And I also want to use the same opportunity to also sound a note of warning to those ministries, departments, and agencies that have consistently shunned the invitation of the House of Reps through this committee on the COVID-19. By the publication that we made in the Punch and Daily Trust of the 4th of January 2024, we did say there, and we meant it, that was the last time we are going to extend invitation to any MDA. Anyone who fails to appear without justifiable reason will leave us with no other option than to resolve the issues in investigation against them. It will be assumed that they do not have any justification for the expenditure of the monies released to them on COVID-19. And this is very, very, very important. For those who haven't come and haven't sent in any communication to show that they had a justifiable reason for not coming, we will be taking a position that those issues in investigation are resolved against them.
I, Daju Ketelo, do solemnly swear and affirm that the evidence I shall give before the committee and all the documents that I will present before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you very much. You can please go ahead and sign the forms that you have with you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairman, honorable members. When we received your letter, we looked at what you had requested for. And I would like to first of all apologize for the not numbering of what was presented to you. I apologize for that. The Federal Ministry of Health, when we received the records, the disbursements from our records, show we were paid in 2 tranches. The first tranche was 6.460 billion, and then the second tranche was 2.5. And the first tranche of 6.46 was for the supply, installation, and maintenance of oxygen plants, while the second tranche of 2.5 billion was for the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerators. So for the ministry, sir, they are up to 18 items on what was submitted. And if I may crave your indulgence, so I can take it one item after the other.
Yes, please go ahead, madam.
So item 1 was for the emergency supply, installation, maintenance of 6 oxygen production plants, and construction of plant houses in 6 states at the cost of 1.018,599,722.69. And the date of award of this contract was on the 15th of October 2021, and it was given to Mr. Supreme Meditech Limited with their address stated as 14 Haile Selassie Street, Asokoro, Abuja. The status of this project is completed. It was started and completed. The second item, which is the emergency supply, installation, and maintenance of 9 oxygen plants, of 9 oxygen production plants and construction of plant houses in 9 states at the sum of 1.527,898,613.49. Award was equally given on the 5th of October 2021 to Mrs. Scripmed Theoropathic Limited with an address in Ademola Crescent, Wuse 2. This is still an ongoing project, but what has been paid thus far is 1.145,911,960.10. I would please read everything out and then tell you why some are still ongoing, Mr. Chairman, sir. For number 3, emergency supply, installation and maintenance of 13 production plants and construction of plant houses in 12 states and the FCT at the sum of 2.206,964,663.93. Award given on the 5th of October 2021 as well to Mrs. Air Separation Nigeria Limited with an address at Ikeja, Lagos. This is completed, the total sum paid to the contractor. The fourth item is the emergency supply, installation, maintenance of 10 oxygen production plants in 10 states at the sum of 1.697,665,126.10. Award equally given.
Just make sure that you indicate is it million or billion, just billion, for the purpose of.
Sorry, billion.
Yeah, I can.
Yes, billion.
Billion. Yeah, I can see from the document.
Yes.
But for those who don't have the document, we'll be listening to you.
My apologies.
So just yes.
1.697,665,126.10 billion. Award given to Messrs. Cresto Paco Limited on the 5th of October 2021 with an address at Oji Uzo Kalu House, Central Business District, Abuja. The sum of 1.35813 to 100.15 billion has been paid to the contractor and it's still ongoing. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, KEFI, at the sum of 178,820,000 naira. And this was given to Mrs. Mendrix Integrated Services Limited, awarded on the 10th of August 2021 with an address at Amazon Street, Maitama. The complete sum has been paid and this is completed. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, Bida, Niger State, at the contract sum of 177,990,000 to Mrs. Mendrix Integrated Services Limited on the 10th of August 2021, and this is completed. Payments all made. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the University Teaching Hospital, Ilorin, at the contract sum of 178,400,000 awarded to Mrs. Mendrix Integrated Services Limited on the 10th of August 2021 with the same address, Maitama, Abuja. This is completed, all sums paid. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe, at the contract sum of 178,850,000 naira to Messrs. Mendrix Integrated Services Limited, awarded on the same date of 10th of August 2021, the same address of 13 Amazon Street, Maitama, and this has been completed and all sums paid. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, given to Messrs. Alekram Integrated Services Nigeria Limited on the 10th of August at the contract sum of 177,990,000, and this has been addressed at number 3 Ibrahim Musa Avenue, Malali, New Extension, Kaduna. This has been completed. The next item, which is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the University of Calabar Teaching Hospital at the contract sum of 179,200,000 was given to Mrs. Alekram Integrated Services with the same address of Malali, New Extension, Kaduna, at the contract sum of 179 on the 10th of August, and this has been completed. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Port Harcourt, at the contract sum of 179,200,000 to Mrs. Alekram Integrated Services Nigeria Limited on the 10th of August 2021 was when the award was given, and this has been completed, all payments made. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at Irua Specialist Teaching Hospital, that's in Edo State. This award was given to Mrs. Alekram, also Integrated Services Nigeria Limited, addressed at New Extension, Malali, New Extension, Kaduna, awarded on the 10th of August 2021 at the contract sum of 178,400,000. This has been completed, all payments made. The next item on the list, Mr. Chairman, honorable members, is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, at the contract sum of 177,950,000 to Messrs. Stepcho Nigeria Limited with an address at Imo Crescent, Gariki, Abuja. On the 10th of August was when the contract was awarded, and this has been since completed. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the ATBU Teaching Hospital, Bauchi, awarded to Monsieur Stepcho Nigeria Limited on the 10th of August at the contract sum of 178,030,000 with an address at Imo Crescent, Gariki, Abuja, and this has been completed as well. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of the incinerator house at the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital, Maiduguri, given to Monsieur Stepcho Nigeria Limited, awarded on the 10th of August 2021 at the contract sum of 178,850,000, and this has been completed. The next is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Lagos, given as well to Monsieur Stepcho Nigeria Limited, awarded on the 10th of August 2021 at the contract sum of 177,950,000, and this has been completed. The next item is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, Birnin Kebbi State, awarded to Monsieur Stepcho Nigeria Limited on the 10th of August at the contract sum of 178,030,000, and this has been completed, all payments made. The last but not the least is the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at the Federal Medical Center, Gusau, at the contract sum of 178,820,000, awarded to Mr. Stepcho Nigeria Limited on the 10th of August 2021, and this has been completed. However, I would like to state, Mr. Chairman, sir, that the ministry owes the total sum of 721,519,679 Naira 34 kobo for the two companies that are yet to complete the supply and installation of the oxygen plants, which are Equipment Therapeutic Limited, who has a contract sum of 381,986,653.39 remaining, and Presto Paco Limited that has 339,533,025.95 kobo remaining. And the reason why this has not been concluded, Mr. Chairman, sir, is that the companies, Equipment Therapeutic Limited and Presto Paco, that are yet to complete their jobs, is because for Presto Paco Limited, they supplied the cylinders with the wrong valves and are yet to, wrong valves for the oxygen plants, the wrong valves, and they are yet to replace them. However, all the plants have been supplied, installed, and the trainings done, but they need to change the valves because they've submitted and they were told to change them before the rest of the payments will be made. As for Equipment Therapeutic Limited, they have supplied all 9 plants, installed and trained the staff. However, 2 of the plants developed problems not long after installation, and the defects are being corrected. Also, I'm informed that one of the components, an oxygen compressor or booster, and booster was supplied, but though functional, is not according to the specification that was given, because specifications are given and sometimes they give you the wrong equipment without what was specified. So what was supplied was with the wrong specification, so they were told to change that. However, in the ministry, honorable members, the staff of the oxygen desk were there to supervise the installation, the commissioning, and the training of each of these plants. And all the staff were trained for the prevention and maintenance of these plants. And since the ministry, through the Department of Hospital Services, advises the ministry on what is needed and the correct specifications for the job completion, because they have to give us a job completion certificate before the rest of the payment is made. That is why we are yet to complete payment, and until they correct those defects that the ministry has informed them about before the remaining payment of 721,519,653 519,679.34 will be given. I so submit. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Honorable colleagues, that is the summary of the presentation of the expenditure of a sum of 8.9 billion naira received by the Federal Ministry of Health as COVID intervention funds. You may have to ask questions or comments or observations. Honorable Dr. Wivey.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for yielding the floor to me. I'm glad the PAMSEC, in discussing this, gave us some insights into why the ongoing projects have not yet been completed 3 years down the line. My first question about that is whether you have funds to pay as soon as these people when these people complete, or when they complete, you start running around. Although one would ordinarily expect that these funds will still be there. But it's a question I would want you to answer. And then another question I would want to ask. At 178 million, thereabout, for the procurement and installation of medical waste incinerators, I think I've been to Otubelhai, Irwa, and I'm just imagining whether you would say that 178 million, since that's about the average for each of them, if it's good for, this country got value for money that was spent, looking at what was on ground and the amount of money spent. I want you to speak to that, whether in all conscience this country got value for money for each of that. Then the states where the supply and installation of maintenance of oxygen plants, you just listed 6 states, 9 states, 12 states, 10 states. I've tried to put that together to make a 37. I know you are including the Federal Capital Territory, but I would have preferred a situation where the names of the states are stated to each of the expenditures, such that with the differences in the expenditure on each of these locations, one will be able to tell the number of states covered and know that that is why, for instance, number 3 is 2.2 billion, whereas number 1 is just 1 billion. So that we know that there's some fairness in this spread. In fact, that leads me to the incinerators. You only have about 14 sites out of 37 states. And I'm quickly looking for my state and a few other states that are not there. And I wonder why you excluded us. And if you didn't exclude, the geopolitical matching, whether these 14 are evenly spread among the 6 geopolitical zones. Those are the questions I'll have for you for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Does anyone have any other question immediately? Yes, please, sir.
I remain Honorable Attorney Matthew Wogu. I wanted to ask, how many contractors bidded for these contracts? And it's interesting that of all contractors in Nigeria, in one instance, one contractor was given 7 slots or 6 slots. In another contractor was given 5 slots. So, isn't it interesting, madam, that one will assume that has to be a conflict of interest somewhere, while one contractor, MS Stepco, will win 5 contracts, while there are millions of contractors in Nigeria. In another instance, MS Mendrix will win 6 contracts, while there are millions of contractors in Nigeria. What is the difference in their bidding that warranted you to award this contract to? Only 2 contractors out of 14 has 12 of these contracts.
Thank you, Honorable. Ask a few questions. I will need you to please provide us with the BPP approval for the inclusion of MS Supreme Meditech Limited in your award of contract. I seem not to find them from the list of companies approved by the BPP for you to consider for the award of this emergency contract. Mr. MS Supreme Meditech, MS, is it MS Cresto? That's number, is that number 4?
Yes.
Number 4 is, yes, MS Cresto Paco Limited. And M Quipmed Therapeutic Limited. I need you to please provide the BPP document that approve those contracting firms for the in addition, madam, what was the duration of the contract that you awarded to M Quipmed Therapeutic Limited? By the letter of award, when are they supposed to have completed and delivered, the project by the letter of award and the contract that was signed between the federal government and that company? Thank you. So you can take those ones first, please.
Was given based on the specification by the hospitals. Not all hospitals have the same specifications. So every hospital has its own specification of the incinerator it wants, from my information. And so every hospital requested for, we sent out to them what are the specifications, you give us the specifications, and I would say that yes, we did get value for money for those incinerators that were placed in all those hospitals. However, I would apologize for not giving you the exact states, because you said the states are not listed. Yes, I would have to do that and tell you. Please get your text. But why do we have 14 out of 37 states? I would like to say, sir, that I think it was based on need. I cannot say why exactly, since I wasn't there at the time. I'm just a few months in Federal Ministry of Health, but I was informed that it was based on need, and it was for emergency procurement. So that was quickly done. But I want to believe that was it evenly spread based on what we read out, sir. There is in all the geopolitical zones, southwest, northeast, north central, southeast, south-south, Irwa, south-south, Calabar, Port Harcourt, southwest, northeast, northwest. So I would say that yes, sir, it was evenly spread to the 6 geopolitical zones. But I'm very sure that we would have in 2024 and going beyond, that any state that has been excluded, any federal teaching hospital or federal medical center or specialty hospital that does not have an incinerator would definitely have, because we've been having requests. So I'm sure by 2024, sir, you would know that we would have, if there is any request for an incinerator, that they would get it, sir. So if your state is not captured, my apologies, we'll look into that, sir. If there's a teaching hospital, a medical center, and a specialty hospital within that state, federal, we would do that, sir. As to 1 billion is against, some had 2 billion.
The same matter.
Yes. Madam, please.
Yes, sir.
You said something very interesting.
Yes.
You said those states that didn't receive or that were not accommodated, they will receive from 20.
I said any federal.
Any state.
Any federal.
Wait, I know what you said.
Yeah.
They will receive from 2024 if the need arises or if they request. Why can't your agency go to all the federal medical centers in the whole country and find out the status of any incinerator they may have and make sure that everything there is working, and if there's need to change what they have, you provide it for them instead of when they request, because you don't know when the next national emergency will arise. So, and when it arises and what they have is not okay, then you start looking for emergency funds. So why don't you do your own part by investigating whether all federal medical centers are properly equipped with incinerators?
Thank you very much, Honorable. And how many contractors bidded? And why did one get 7 slots and another 5 slots? Honorable Chairman, honorable members, the equipment for Federal Ministry of Health, it's not just for all contractors. There is a template, or would I say a booklet, that gives and specifies all companies that have to do with medical equipment. So it is those who are with that booklet and approved by the BPP that can procure goods for the Federal Ministry of Health. As to why it is only 2, I cannot say. I do not have an answer as to why it is only 2. But I know that there are specific contractors that can bid for equipment for health.
How many contractors bidded?
If I may, Honorable, let me confer with my director.
Okay, please do that.
Yes, please.
While your directors are getting an answer to that, you can go ahead to the next question, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Just provide, madam, director, just provide, madam, with the number of contractors that bidded for the project, so that we can look through the procurement process to be sure that they are compliant with the Procurement Act. That's the purpose of that question.
For the BPP approval for inclusion of Supreme Med and Quick Med, I don't know if you have, it's on page 16.
Just refer to
page 16 of this document.
Which of the documents?
This document that starts, please.
Is that the volume 2 or 1?
No, volume 1. Page 16.
All right. Yes, page 16 of volume 1. So which item there? The first item?
For the table there shows that for item number 3, emergency installation of supply, installation and maintenance of 9 oxygen production plants and construction of plant houses in 9 states of Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, Jigawa, Yobe, Cross River, Ekiti, Lagos, and Enugu states, was given to QuickMed Therapeutics at the sum of 1,488,262,500. And BPP reviewed the contract cost to 1,329,898,613.49.
Is that okay? Yeah, I can see that, but just a moment. BPP reviewed to how much?
1,329,898,613.
That's the construction of oxygen, 9 oxygen production plants.
Yeah, installation, yes.
Is that the one?
Yes, item number 3.
Item number 2, rather.
Okay, item number 2 is air separation. We asked for equipment and Supreme.
No, just a moment. The one in reference here, yes, handled by Equipment Therapeutic Limited. That's what I'm referring to.
Yes, that's number 3.
Was revised by BPP to how much? 1.329.
Yes.
So where is that on this your document? On the summary of the document you first presented, is item what?
That is item number.
It's item number 2.
Item number 2.
Yeah, but the contract sum here is 1,527,000,000 898,713 naira 0.49, and that was well above the sum which the BPP approved for the contract sum. Madam, are you following me?
Yes, I am. I'm actually looking at my director of procurement to find out.
Yeah, but can you see that the figure is at variance with what was approved by the BPP?
Yes.
This one, the contract was awarded at 1.5 billion naira, and the BPP approved that you award at 1.3 billion naira. On volume 1, page 16, yes, sir, the first volume, page 16, and then we're trying to tally the figure with what we have here. According to the information on this from the Bureau of Public Procurement, in a letter dated 26th of April 2021, the contract to QMed Therapeutic Limited is to be awarded. You proposed to award at 1.488, and they said you should award at 1.329. But from the submission you made, you awarded at 1.527, 898, 613.49, which is well above the sum approved by the BPP for that particular contract. So what happened, madam?
Just give me a moment, sir, please. Let me see. Distinguished sir, honorable.
Yes, madam.
Please, the letter of award given to them on page 24, it's a typographical error on our part. The letter of award...
On page 24 of which document?
Volume 1.
The letter of award...
To QuickMed is actually the 1.329 as approved by BPP.
No, just a moment, please. The letter of award is on page what?
Page 24.
Of which of the volumes of this document?
On
the same volume 1?
Same volume 1.
No, volume 1, what I have here is not a letter of award. What I have here is a tabulation, yeah. It's not a letter of award on my own page 24 here on volume 1. And then what, I don't understand. What do you mean by typographical error? Are you disowning the figure of 1.527 billion?
Hold on, Mr. Honorable Chairman, sir, please. It's volume 2, not volume 1. Directors, please.
Volume 2, page 20.
Page 24.
Page 24 of volume 2. No, volume 2 is the letter. Volume 2, page 24,
award, yes,
is a letter of award to the equipment, and then the total sum of the contract awarded here is 1,329,898 naira 13
I apologize for the earlier.
0.49. No, it's not about apology, madam. Let's get our acts together. Just a moment, please. It's not, madam. You see, the problem is that the numbers do not tally. You agree with me? Use your microphone, ma'am. You agree with me that the numbers do not tally? And in the Public Account Committee, we deal with figures, we deal with the laws, we deal with rules. So the figures here have to align, because you have done a tabulation of the total sum to arrive at the 8.960, which was released to you as COVID-19 fund. So the contract that was awarded here by your own document is to the tune of 1,527,898,000. Is that correct?
Sir, can I ask the DFA who was there?
Yes, he's on oath, so he can speak.
Thank you.
Yes, DFA. Director of Finance, we're waiting for you, please.
Sir, if you look at the award letter, it reads like this, sir. Are you
Are you adopting whatever you submitted as your document? Under oath? Yes, you do. Okay. If you adopt this as your document, go ahead and tell us the variations.
That was the sum people approved. 1.3 was the sum people approved. But the Federal Executive Council augmented the contract and jack up the price to 1.5 billion. If you look at the award letter, here, it's written in the award letter.
What is written in the award letter?
I read the award letter out for you, sir.
What is written in the award letter?
1.5 billion.
1.5 billion.
Yes, that was an augmentation for the Federal Executive Council. Yes.
No, just a moment. The award letter indicated 1.5 billion naira for the contract.
Yes.
But the first award letter, Madam referred us to, indicated 1.3 billion. The letter on page 24 of your volume 2, which I have here, indicated 1,329,898,713.4. So which award letter are you referring to, Director of Finance? Which other award letter? This is for the supply, installation, and maintenance of 9 oxygen production plants and construction of plant houses in Kogi, Benue, Kebbi, Jigawa, Yobe, Cross River, Ekiti, Lagos, and Ebonyi. Yes, please.
Page 27. Page 27.
Did you issue 2 award letters? Did you issue 2 award letters on this contract? Director of Finance, did the Ministry of Health issue 2 award letters on this contract?
Sir. Yes, sir. If you look
Use your microphone, please.
My microphone is on. If you look at page 24, the date of the award.
Just wait, one after the other, please.
Yes, sir.
Did the ministry issue 2 award letters on this same contract?
Yes, sir.
The same company.
Oh, okay, so why did you issue 2 award letters?
There was an augmentation of the contract. So a new award letter had to be issued to reflect the total sum that was augmented by the Federal Executive Council.
When you issued the second award letter, did you withdraw the first award letter? Yes. And is it indicated in that letter?
The first award letter was withdrawn.
No, answer my question. When you issued the second award letter, did you say this award letter replaces the first award letter dated so date?
If you read the content.
No, answer the question. Yes.
Answer the question whether the first letter was withdrawn before you issued another contract on this, another letter on the same contract.
Everything is explained in the body of the letter. That's why I said, let me take you through the letter.
Director.
Yes, sir.
Listen, the facts speak for themselves. You cannot read your own and read our own. The question is, when you issued the second award letter, did you state in that body of the letter that such award letter issued to you previously has been withdrawn and being replaced with this one? Did you say that in that body of the letter?
And in addition, please, I'm really curious about this so-called augmentation. I'm really curious. This is a country that operates by law, and there's a law that is called the Public Procurement Act of the National Assembly, which is the law that covers all procurement by public agencies. So where did this augmentation to this tune, where did it come from? Permanent Secretary, this augmentation, where is it coming from? That the BPP has looked through your document and approved that you award a contract at a certain sum, and you issued a letter to the contractor in accordance with the BPP directive, and then you come up to issue another letter on the same contract at a higher figure, and you claim there was an augmentation. Where is it coming from? Put off your microphone, Director of Finance. Let the PS address this matter.
I don't know where the augmentation came from. I have the desk officer who was in charge, who handled everything. If he can speak, as I said, I was not in health then. So
who was that desk officer?
Dr. Shetan, are you here?
Are you on oath? What's your designation? What is your designation? What's your designation? Okay, are you on oath?
No.
Okay, Madam PS, you want us to put him on oath? You think he should take responsibility for this explanation?
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay, so I so approve. Please put him on oath. And then let me give you one good privilege. You can come and sit there. Just move to that place. You take your oath, and then you can also answer some of the questions.
Please swear and affirm that the evidence I shall give before the committee and all the documents that I will present before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Go ahead and give us an explanation on this contract variation.
Okay, thank you, Chairman, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen. What happened then was that the first award letters that were given to them, I submit specification as usual. I did my market survey, but I submitted specification to procurement, but procurement thought otherwise. They did another market survey and they awarded the letters. All the contractors returned the letters after about a month or two that they were not able to do the contract at those sum because of the volatility of the exchange rate as at that point. Please remember that these equipments are not manufactured in this country. All these equipment are being procured and shipped to the country. The only thing in this country is the housing of the oxygen plant. So because of the volatility, all the contractors returned the document that they were not able to do it at that price. So procurement made another presentation now to BPP, which was approved. We went back to FAKE again with the permanent secretary then, Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Adebi, and this was now approved at this present rate. That was exactly
what was the procurement process used in this procurement? Was it by the public tendering or was it by selective tendering?
It was by selective tendering, but
okay.
There were almost about 7 or 8 companies that applied or that were selected to bid, because like the permanent secretary said, the jobs in Ministry of Health are very special jobs. A lot of people.
Yes, no, please, I'm coming to that. I understand that. Now, the issue we are examining is not actually peculiar only to this company, to M Equipment. I can see that it affects almost all the contracts that you awarded. You had an initial approval for a contract sum, and then you awarded the contract in the month of June and came back to re-award contracts in the month of September, if I'm correct, September, October, month of October, for contract sums, higher than what was initially approved by the public procurement, by the Bureau of Public Procurement, and that raises a lot of questions, even about the competence of your procurement department, because you have to have value for money, and you have to be very, very efficient in the expenditure of public resources. And you said you submitted something earlier that the public procurement did something different. So what's your own department?
Hospital services, sir. We are the user department, the Department of Hospital Services. We are the user department. We are the technical department. So we make the submission of the specifications to them.
To the procurement department?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are can you give us copies of the submission you made to the procurement department? Can we have copies of the earlier submission you made to them on each and every one of these contracts? Do you have them?
That's the specification, sir.
Specification, the bill of quantity.
No, I don't have the specification here. The bill of quantity.
What is the content of this submission you said you made to the procurement department? What does it contain? Or what did it contain?
It contains the oxygen plant in itself.
It contains the items.
The items.
Good one.
And the 60 cylinders.
Those are still items. In the documents, you have the items. Do you have the specifications?
Of course, it's written.
Do you have the quantity? Do you have the sum? Do you have the sum?
We don't submit the sum. We submit the specification, the quantity. There were 38 oxygen plants.
So you submitted the specifications.
Yes.
With which the procurement department now acted and advised the BPP to get a certificate of no objection. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So what changed? What changed that you don't have a difference of over 300 million naira on one contract? I'm sure if you do a total tabulation, we'll be talking about billions now.
Sir, like I said, the volatility of the exchange rate at that point was very, very high. As we were making the first submission, I think it was still 300 and something. By the time they were given award letter, it had gone to 400.
So they asked for a variation. That's the meaning. They asked for a contract variation. That's the meaning. Okay, is that supported by the contracts that you signed with them? Read out the portion that supports that approval of that variation in the contract that you signed with one of the company. Just read out the portion that supports the approval of this variation. Read it out, please.
Volume 2 of the document we submitted on page 22, dated August 13th, 2021.
Page 2, volume 2, page 22, yes, page madam.
22, dated August 13th, 2021. The Director General of the BPP.
Madam, that's not the question. You're not answering the question.
Sorry, what was the question?
Stick to the question asked.
What was the question?
The question is, the variation that was approved that led to the issuance of a fresh letter of approval is supported by which of the clauses of the contract that you signed with them? That's what I'm saying.
I'm coming. Let me look at the contract agreement.
Yes, no, that's the letter of variation. From where we are.
Apparently, Mr. Chairman, from what I'm looking at, the contract was signed in November. So it was after the variation had been made of the 1.527.
Okay, madam, if the variation has been made,
yes,
how do you do variation without starting the contract? How do you do that? I mean, the contract has to be started. You have now to check the cost of what is costing you to do the contract. And you say this amount that you issued or the amount you approved for this contract is not enough. Then you create a variation.
Please, can the director BP?
In addition to that very valid observation by my colleague, when you also write out the letter of, when you issue the letter of award of contract, the one you issued in the month of June, I'm sure that you also indicated a period with which the contractor is to either accept or reject the contract. And I'm sure that there must have been a communication from the contractor based on the letter of award. Was there such communication? So I answer that in addition to the observation. I don't know whether you understand me, madam.
I do, sir. Can
Excellent.
The director procurement?
Yes, as long as he's on oath, he can speak.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. They should give members. When the contracts were awarded, sir, from the document that we read, the contractors went to the market. They discovered that the contract prices were not realistic. I think they now wrote back to the ministry. The ministry now wrote to BPP.
Uncle, you are going back to the same issue that you have said. You are still telling us what you have said before.
Sir, they did not sign agreement yet, sir.
Was there listen now, was there a letter of acceptance between June and October? Was there a letter from the contractor? You wrote a contractor. He got your letter. And in the letter, there is a paragraph where you made mention. The letter is on page what again, please? The first letter of award on volume...
Page 24.
Is it volume 2?
Yeah, page 24.
Volume 2, page 24. Please indicate, this is your paragraph 2. The paragraph 2 of your letter says, please indicate your acceptance or otherwise in writing within 1 week of receipt of this letter. That's the first sentence. in that second paragraph, indicate acceptance or otherwise in writing within 1 week of receipt of this offer. So where is that letter of receipt or otherwise or rejection that was supposed to have been given to you by the 20th of June or 21st of June, because the letter is dated 15th of June 2021. So by 22nd of June 2021, by virtue of this letter, you should have got a letter of acceptance or refusal by the contractor. So where is that letter? That's the question.
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes, please.
From what I've learned, there was no acceptance, sir.
How? So how do you award a contract without acceptance? How do you award a contract? Because in a contract, there must be an offer.
And now put off your microphone so that the honorable colleague can use his.
In a contract, there must be an offer and an acceptance. Then consideration, which is the money you are paying. Who authorized you to pay to a contractor that has not accepted your offer?
Chairman, sir. Chairman, sir.
Yes, okay, Honorable Amos Bagaji.
Thank you very much. Director, procurement, do you have BPP approval for the amount you, because there is variance between the amount BPP approved and then the amount the contract was offered, the amount. So do you have a different approval, or this is just the approval you work and you just on your own hike the contract sum?
Thank you very much, sir. So as I said earlier, sir, a letter was issued earlier to the contractors.
Yeah, go ahead now. Go ahead.
Yes, the price was not realistic to them. They now requested for open review when they issued letter in the first place. So the second review went to BPP. They gave no objection.
Okay.
Another memo Alan went
okay, Director, let me interrupt you. Where is the letter that the companies wrote to tell you that they can't execute the contract at the sum that you awarded it?
Sir, can I answer that for QuickMed? There is a letter here addressed to the then Permanent Secretary dated 21st of June 2021 by QuickMed stating, award of contract for the emergency supply, installation and maintenance of 9 oxygen plants and construction in the various states. They acknowledge receipt of the letter dated 15th of June 2021 with the reference stated. They acknowledge receipt of the letter of award dated 15th of June 2021 with the reference number, and stated that, however, sequel to the meeting held on the 4th of June 2021 with you, sir, the Honorable PAMSEC then, your Director of Procurement and the Director of Finance, we wish to bring your attention to some of the challenges observed that could adversely affect the project execution, namely, the sudden surge in foreign exchange rate due to the dollar, recent global demand for oxygen plants and its components and accessories have resulted in hikes in oxygen plant prices, prices offered by original equipment manufacturers in February-March 2021 are no longer tenable, and the challenges being faced at our seaports have adversely impacted on clearing timelines, resulting in delays in freight time and increase in freight costs. We hereby appeal to the Ministry for an upward review of the unit price of the contract sum to enable us deliver within the time frame. We will appreciate if these concerns can be discussed and amicably and mutually beneficial position reached to further the execution of the contract. We await your further directives to guide our actions and planning. Thank you. This was signed by the managing director.
By equipment.
Yes.
Equipment therapeutic.
Yes.
Okay.
Therapeutic.
So before the contract was awarded initially, I'm sure that you also had quotations from some other companies or contractors. And probably there are some that also bidded or quoted sums that are lower than that of equipment, but perhaps for considerations of technical expertise or whatever you awarded to equipment. Now, did you also source alternate companies? Did you consider alternate companies that could have offered that contract at the initial sum for which they were approved?
Thank you, Honorable Chairman. I will not know if at the time they
the man in white. Hello, you are causing.
I'm sorry, sir.
Please don't do that again. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
I don't know if at the time they sought other companies, but I do know, based on what I was informed, that due to the exchange rate at that time.
Yeah, madam, I get that point, but you see, if we say because we have funds, we have to just use the money, we have to spend the money. If you don't have up to that sum of money approved for you by the National Assembly, you could have also been able to solve the problem. So if we start going back and forth and you award contract to somebody after all the due process has been done, and then the person comes up and tells you that I can't do it again, and you are not considering, having alternate vendors, only for us to have these figures. Anyway,
Sir, an alternate vendor.
We have got, yes?
If I may say, an alternate vendor equally wrote again, stating the same thing, air separation.
That's on a different contract.
Yes, for the same oxygen plant.
That's what I said, on a different contract. Of course, contractors are businessmen now.
Yes.
They are human beings. They can hold a meeting somewhere. I'm not imputing ill motive to them, but I'm saying they can hold a meeting somewhere and say we can get more money from government. Honorable colleague, any other question, please?
Companies that were awarded contracts here, though some of them in multiple times, you have certificate of no objection for award of contract for the BPP. If you look at number 1 through 4, you have Crystal Paco Limited. Project cost as requested, 1,653,625,000. BPP reviewed project 1.477. Cost of reduction 175 million. Now, BPP reviewed this and reviewed it and cost it at 1.47. That is for Crystal. How much do you award that contract?
Thank you, Honorable Member, sir. It goes down to the same thing with other...
Okay, can you show me,
Yes.
with the exception of these 4 companies that are listed on page 4, the other companies where the BPP reviewed and gave you the cost?
Honorable Member, sir, air separation is one of them. Equipment is one of them.
I know. I listed the 4 companies.
Okay, the others. Mendrick.
Chairman, are you?
Yeah. Honorable colleague, I understand you're asking them to reference the BPP approval.
If you could just give me a moment.
And why the variation in the cost?
Okay, there's Honorable Fatima also has a question. We're going to be rounding up with you in the other 10 minutes, madam. There are quite a whole lot of gaps to fill from your documents and presentation. Honorable Fatima?
My chairman, I remain Honorable Fatima, represent the people of the Adó-Ekiti for developing federal constituency. I'm from Ekiti State. Mr. Chairman, my question is on item 13 of this, which has to do with the...
Item 13 of the summary page of the summary document.
Yes, which has to do with procurement and installation of medical waste incinerator and construction of incinerator house at FMC Abeokuta. Honorable Oshoba, I believe you can bear me witness that when we went to Abeokuta for sightseeing,
For oversight.
of recent, we equally found this particular item in their own book. So why is it repeated?
Oh, you found it in the book of FMC Abeokuta as their own project?
Yes, sir. So why is
Are you sure it's the same thing?
We found it in their books, and it's still the same incinerator.
Okay.
So why
Okay, that's a very important observation. Please, we have to note that. Yeah, because there will also be oversights to. I'm very interested in these oxygen production plants because if they are actually functional, that would be a very good one for us as a country. For us that we have functional oxygen plants in so many locations. So we'll definitely be doing an oversight to the project location. And please, we have to take note of this. I don't know whether Madam followed. There was an oversight visit to the Federal Medical Center Abeokuta last week by a subcommittee of the Public Account Committee. And they are saying that they found from the submission of the FMC this same project listed as a project of the FMC Abeokuta and not that of the Federal Ministry of Health. So we will surely need to resolve this, this controversy, as it were. So please take note of that, and then we're going to be having oversight visits, especially to the 6 oxygen production plants, which you did in those 6 states, and a few other of this project. While we await you to supply further documents and explanation on the things that we have observed, I have one last question for you before we. You have a clarification to seek? Okay. Sorry, please. Yeah, they will supply the details. Yes, please, Robert Shoba.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Yes, Madam. When we went on oversight, what we noticed was that whenever these medical facilities had, for example, a 10-bedded ICU, eventually what they would tell us is that they got appropriation again in the capital budget apart from the COVID-19 intervention fund, and then they now expanded to 20-bedded, 30-bedded, and then in the books we'll probably see things like appropriation for 30 beds. So it looks like it's duplication because they knew they got approval in the COVID intervention funds for a 10-bedded ICU. What now happens is in the main budget they request for the same thing but more numbers. So I think you need to look into that, because that happened in a few places we went to, where they say, no, we don't have a 10-bedded ICU any longer, that we used to have 5 beds for ICU. Now we have about 30 beds. Then they have people donating beds to them, donating equipment to them. And they are showing us those equipments as the COVID-19 intervention equipments. So you need to look into that and do a proper inventory of the COVID-19 intervention funds and the equipments that were supplied for COVID-19 intervention funds. Because it's a smart way of duplicating and just pulling out money from the federal government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable. Madam, so that you want to respond to that?
Yes, please. I would like to say something.
Okay. Can you also take this in addition then? We are on receipt of a report by the Auditor General for the Federation as a result of the special audit exercise carried out by that office on the Federal Ministry of Health on the COVID-19 financing. And the report indicated that there is a sum of 10 billion naira that was released to you by the federal government on the 29th of December 2020 for you to construct a vaccine production plant. 10 billion naira to construct a vaccine production plant. And the Auditor General says or claims that as at the time of this audit in September of 2022, there was no such plant constructed or equipped by the Federal Ministry of Health. 10 billion naira. And there is no evidence that that money had been returned to the coffers of the federal government. I would like you to address this very important observation by the Auditor General.
I'd like to start by saying thank you for the questions, for the observations raised, and most importantly, for the feedback. I would like to state categorically, sir, that I'm not casting aspersions on anybody, but I'd like to say that the new administration in the Federal Ministry of Health is a new administration, and we intend to superintend over the Federal Ministry of Health openly for the whole world to see, and that things will be done differently. Differently in the sense that you will know what we are doing in the Federal Ministry of Health. Unfortunately, all the questions being raised, I only have what I have been told because I was not there. On why, if we have a BPP document on the other companies, I have a document that BPP gave, and I wish they were here so that they could respond, an overall certificate of no objection to the Federal Ministry of Health for all the plants, the incinerators, and every other item dated August 13, 2021. But for the other one that the honorable member is asking for other companies, it is not listed. All I have is a certificate of no objection for every project for the COVID-19 as given by BPP. And as I said, I wish they were here. So I cannot provide that, but if you give us time, we could go back and look for it, sir.
So what they gave you was just a general
blanket,
cover?
Yes, a blanket.
But we want the itemized covers.
So we will look for that. We'll
for
get back
each
to
one
them.
of them.
Thank you very much. On the issue of incinerators in other hospitals after oversight and the equipment of COVID-19, I assure you will definitely look into that. Because if items were donated for COVID-19, they are for COVID-19. If they were purchased by government funds, they should be listed as government funds. And we are taking an overhaul and inventory of everything in every federal tertiary hospital presently. That is what we're doing now. Before the 2024 budget is even applied, we're already doing that. As to the last but not the least, very important, 10 billion, which was meant for the production of a COVID-19 vaccine. Unfortunately, sir, this has caused a lot of issues, even within the Federal Ministry of Health. The money is still there.
The money is where?
It's still there. The money is
what's the meaning of there?
In federal government coffers of the ministry. It has
in the
not been
federal
realized.
government, in the consolidated revenue of the federation?
In the Federal Ministry of Health coffers.
Oh, the money is still with the Federal Ministry of Health?
Yes. It's here. That's it. I have the...
No, madam, just wait. It's not about what, it's not about what you have.
No, I want to explain to you.
Okay, go ahead. Explain. Let me listen.
When I came on board 4 months ago, we were informed the same time as the minister. There is a 10 billion COVID-19 fund that has not been utilized, and it was meant for production of COVID-19 vaccines. The former administration had some issues. They could not come up with whether they were going to give it for the production of COVID-19 or not. But there was a company, BioVaccines, or there is a company rather, BioVaccines Nigeria Limited, that is on ground that should have produced the vaccines. But there were issues. I don't know what the issues were. But we've had series of meetings. The coordinating Minister of Health, Alhaji Mohammed Pate, the Minister of State, Dr. Tunja Lausa, myself, the department, and the Federal Ministry of Finance. And the last meeting we held prior to the Christmas celebration it was agreed by MOFI, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, the Federal Ministry of Finance, Federal Ministry of Health, and the BioVaccine, that the sum of Bank of Industry, the sum of 10 billion this amount, considering MOFI is in charge of all federal government assets, that the Federal Ministry of Health is to transfer this money in the presence of Bank of Industry, Ministry of Finance, and MOFI to MOFI. Was it to MOFI or to Bank? Yes, to MOFI. Because MOFI is in charge of all federal government assets. So moving forward, MOFI will work with biovaccines to ensure, because the budget line indicates production of COVID-19 vaccines. And we said COVID-19 is over and done with. These are federal government funds. Federal Republic of Nigeria needs companies. We need to produce locally, local pharmaceuticals. The minister has been having conversations. I cannot speak for the minister. But
having conversation on how to spend the money.
On how to, we actually agreed to utilize, not to spend it, to utilize the money. Yes,
to utilize?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Not to spend?
Sir, choice of words. Choice of words. To utilize.
To utilize, not to spend.
Well, utilization inadvertently is spending, but for now we are talking about utilization of funds.
You are discussing on how to utilize monies that was released to you in 2020, 10 billion naira for a specific purpose.
Sir,
and you kept the money in your ministry till this time,
as I said,
without use. And then, madam, one very unacceptable thing you have also done, very, very unacceptable, is to hold back that information from your presentation.
No,
just a moment, please. Is to hold back that information from your presentation. The oath you took is to tell us the truth, the whole truth. Excuse me, please. And if this question hadn't been asked, the Minister of Health would have kept a sum of 10 billion naira, which was meant as COVID-19 fund to itself. No. You gave us, yes, you didn't give us the whole truth. You should have, excuse me, please. You should have included that in your submission to this honorable committee, to let us know, or let Nigerians know, that you have this sum of money released to you by federal government, which you haven't spent and haven't returned back to the coffers of the federal government. We find that a little bit curious.
So may I speak?
No, madam, you may not need to say anything. We have had you let members just respond to the explanations that you have made, and then you can. Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. Madam, what I need to clarify is this: the money, 10 billion, is domiciled where? The Ministry of Health is not a bank. Where is that money domiciled? First of all, let us be clear about that. Is it with the CBN? Is it with a commercial bank? Where is the money exactly? Where is it domiciled? Before I go on with what I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much, member. I was actually waiting for us to finish so that I would tell you. I've had it ever since that we have 10 billion. But
madam, you have a submission here. This is your submission.
Yes.
This is your documents.
Yes.
We are a house that deals with documents. We don't. The oral testimony cannot override whatever is not included here. And in the whole of your document somewhere that has not been used. Just a moment. Yeah, you should take responsibility for that. And then, since the Auditor General raised this issue in maybe 2022 or thereabout, till now, there has not been any formal response or explanation from the Federal Ministry of Health to the Auditor General for the Federation on this money. I think some people need to really some people really need to ask a lot of questions on this. But before then, can you answer the questions that
the money is domiciled in the GIFMIS account of the Accountant General of the Federation. The GIFMIS account of the Accountant General of the Federation.
So you don't have access to the money. It's
no.
So now you know what? Nigeria is short of funds. Those funds, the value of those funds 3 years ago and the value right now, I'm sure you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
If you agree with me, they are going to do things differently, and that's why you said COVID-19, we don't need to produce vaccines again at this point. Not COVID-19 vaccines. I think what we need is for that money to be returned, and then you apply for the funds again if you need it to do something that currently needs to be done. So on this note, Chairman, I want to move that those funds be returned and utilized for very, very urgent, national, important things. When you need funds like that again, they can make funds readily available for you. Not just keep 10 billion naira, which was equivalent to, God knows, $30 million before. Now it's less than $10 million or something. It's become 1/3 of the value as we speak in 3 years. So let that money be returned. Let the federal government and Nigerians use it for something that will be beneficial to us. When you need funds for other things, you can apply and budgetary allocation will be made for you. So I move a motion that the money should be returned to be used for very important, urgent things. Chairman, thank you.
This money that is domiciled with the Accountant General's office, is it domiciled in an interest-earning account, or is it fixed? And if it is fixed, who is collecting the interest rate?
Unfortunately, with all due respect, I can't answer for the Accountant General's office.
Because, madam, nobody puts money in the bank and not using it. Okay? And some of us here have been there and done that. So you collect this kind of money, you put it in the bank, and every month, overnight borrowing, those that did finance, somebody's collecting billions for the last 2 years, 3 years.
Okay.
Chairman, we need to seriously look at this.
Thank you, Honorable. Yeah, because when you said the money is in GIFMIS, I was wondering, GIFMIS is actually a platform. It's not like a place where, it's a platform for administering the fund. So the money should be somewhere, either with the CBN or with the bank or whatever it is. You know, the GIFMIS is like the platform for the administration of the fund. Well, any seconder to the motion, Mobile Honorable Oshaba? Any seconder to the motion? Yes, Honorable Shaba.
One more, Chairman. I remain Honorable Sabah Ahmed for Kwara State. I represent A2 and Moro, Atigi Federal Constituency. I support the motion. I second the motion. Ably move my colleague. I so second. Thank you very much.
So those in favor of the motion that the sum of 10 billion naira released to the Federal Minister of Health, Madam, we expect you to submit evidence of remittance of that money back to government within 7 days to the Public Account Committee, and also supply all other documents and information so observed and required. So we're going to adjourn your hearing and give you a fresh date for continuation and completion of this hearing. Thank you.